Most budgets fail within 2 weeks. Not because the numbers were wrong, not because the person lacked discipline, but because the system required too much effort to maintain. The truth is, a budget that needs daily tracking will always collapse. Life gets in the way. You miss 1 day of logging, then 2, then you stop entirely. And once the tracking stops, the system breaks. This is where most people assume the failure is personal, that they lack consistency, that they are not disciplined enough with money. But the reality is much simpler. Any system that depends on constant attention will eventually fail, regardless of who is using it. The problem is not you. The problem is the type of budget you were given. In this video, I am going to show you a system that works without constant maintenance, a structure that requires one setup and one 30-minute review per month, and nothing in between. No daily tracking, no constant checking, no reliance on motivation. Once this system is in place, your money moves automatically, your spending stays within its boundaries, and your future builds in the background without any additional effort from you. 1. Why traditional budgeting fails most people in the UK. The most common approach to budgeting is simple in theory. Track every purchase, categorize every expense. Review it weekly. Apps are installed, spreadsheets are built, categories are created. At the start, everything feels under control. Then life begins to interfere. A busy week at work, a weekend out, unexpected expenses, and slowly the tracking becomes inconsistent. 1 missed entry becomes 5, then 10. Eventually, the system is abandoned entirely. This is not a failure of discipline. It is a predictable outcome of a high-maintenance system. Every time you log a purchase, you are making a decision. Every time you categorize spending, you are using mental energy. Over time, this creates decision fatigue. And decision fatigue always leads to avoidance. The more complex a system becomes, the more fragile it becomes. What most people need is not more control. It is less friction. A system that reduces decisions instead of increasing them. A system that runs on structure, not effort. Because when the structure is correct, behavior follows automatically. 2. The 3-account system. This is the foundation of a budget that works long-term. It requires 3 separate bank accounts. Each account has one purpose, and one purpose only. No overlap, no mixing, no confusion. The first is your fixed account. This account handles everything that must be paid every month, without exception. Your rent or mortgage, council tax, energy bills, broadband, phone contract, insurance, transport costs. These expenses are predictable. They do not require decisions. They require consistency. By isolating them into one account, you remove any risk of accidentally spending this money elsewhere. On payday, the exact amount needed for these costs is transferred into this account automatically. Once that transfer is complete, this account is effectively locked. You do not use it. You do not check it daily. It exists purely to ensure your obligations are always covered. The second is your flexible account. This is your spending account. Everything that is not fixed, food, social plans, clothing, entertainment, comes from here. This is where most financial mistakes happen when there is no structure. But within this system, the rule is simple. You decide the number before the month begins. And once that number is gone, spending stops. There is no negotiation with yourself, no shifting money from bills, no confusion. The limit is built into the system itself. The third is your future account. This is the account most people neglect, and the one that matters most. This is where your savings and investments live. Emergency fund, ISA contributions, long-term investments. The defining rule of this account is simple. It is funded first, not at the end of the month, not from what is left. Before any spending happens, money is moved here automatically. This ensures that your future is always funded, regardless of your spending behavior. 3 accounts, 3 clear roles. And once this structure is in place, the system begins to operate without your involvement. 3. How to calculate your real take-home pay in the UK. Before you build any system, you need one accurate number, not your salary, your take-home pay. This is where many people make their first mistake. They base their budget on their gross income, the number written in their contract. But that number is not what you receive. In the UK, your salary is reduced by income tax, national insurance, and pension contributions before it reaches your account, which means your usable income is always lower than expected. For example, at £30,000 per year, your take-home pay is roughly £1,980 per month. At £40,000, it is approximately £2,570. At £50,000, around £3,100. These are not exact figures, but they illustrate the difference clearly. And if you have a student loan, your take-home will be reduced further. The only number that matters is what actually lands in your account. That is your working figure. That is the number your entire system is built on. If there is any uncertainty, your payslip provides the answer. The net pay figure, after all deductions, is the foundation of your budget. Everything else is irrelevant. 4. Fixed costs and what belongs in this category. Your fixed account receives a precise amount, not an estimate, not a rounded figure, an exact total based on your real monthly obligations. This includes your rent or mortgage, council tax, utilities, water, broadband, mobile phone, transport costs, insurance, and any finance agreements. One of the most common mistakes is underestimating this number. Rounding down, ignoring small subscriptions, forgetting annual costs spread monthly. These small gaps create instability. Precision creates stability. When this number is correct, your fixed account becomes self-sustaining. Every bill is paid automatically. No stress, no reminders, no missed payments, and more importantly, no risk of spending money that was never meant to be spent. 5. The flexible spend envelope and how to make it work. After fixed costs and future contributions are removed, what remains is your flexible budget. This is where your lifestyle exists, and this is where discipline is usually expected. But in this system, discipline is replaced with boundaries. You are not tracking every purchase. You are operating within a predefined limit. The clarity comes before the spending begins. At the start of the month, you know exactly how much is available. This removes uncertainty. It also removes guilt, because as long as you stay within the boundary, the spending is already accounted for. And if the money runs out early, the system provides immediate feedback, not through numbers on a spreadsheet, but through reality. Spending stops. Over time, this naturally adjusts behavior without requiring constant monitoring. And if money remains at the end of the month, it is not absorbed back into spending. It moves forward into your future account, which means every decision not to spend has a direct, visible reward. 6. The future account, and why it must come first. Most people treat saving as optional, something to be done if there is money left. But this approach guarantees inconsistency, because spending always expands to fill available space. The future account reverses that logic. It is funded first, before spending begins, before lifestyle decisions are made. This creates a non-negotiable baseline for your future. Initially, this account builds your emergency fund, a buffer of 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. This is what separates financial stability from financial stress. Once that is established, contributions shift toward investments. In the UK, the Stocks and Shares ISA is one of the most effective tools available. Watch the next video to learn more about the strategies, risks, and real moments behind plays like this, how players press their wins, manage streaks, and turn small bets into massive payouts.